comic book, movie, sci-fi, and action thrill. Reviewing new TV shows, we keep it real. Reminiscing the attitude era, wrestling at its peak. Nostalgia from the 80s and 90s, memories we seek. Pineapples for our rings, a unique touch. Geek culture in our blood, we love it so much. Geek Blue forever, we love it so much. Geekblur, where we talk about it all, from superheroes to wrestlers. We stand tall, Ray and Kevin, the dynamic duo in sight. Geekblur, shining bright, shining bright. Did you hear about Pluto? That's messed up, right? Geekblur, taking you on a nostalgia flight. From movies to TV, we cover it all. Join us in every week, we'll have a ball. Shuffle.
Hey, what's going on?
Yeah, that's how I feel. It's been a rough couple days.
I'm ready to beat some motherfuckers up. I just finished a watch on Amazon that we're gonna talk about. I'm ready to take down the CIA, the FBI, all of them. The NYPD, all of them. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. Gonna start the show off first though with a Fat Fucks.
The fat fucks are back. Yeah, you know most of river be fat. The fat fucks are back. Motherfucker, show me the fat fuck.
Taco Bell coming out with a new menu item, a shell made of melted cheese.
Yep.
Picture of it right there, looks pretty good. Called the Queso Crisp. Not sure when this is coming out, but it is a new menu item they announced this week. Also at Chipotle honey chicken, limited time.
Yeah,
sounds really good.
Does that mean there's no more brisket?
No more brisket. Brisket was good, but yeah, no more brisket.
Fucks. The brisket was good.
Really good, but yeah, they do have this one limited time. Chipotle heat with a touch of sweet. That's their slogan. So, did you have a show and tell ready? Because I completely forgot when going through the notes.
Sure. Let me just reach for a sec.
Okay, let's do a impromptu, even though we knew about it, show and tell. So many geeky things that we could pull off from the shelf. We've been collecting shit for years and now we're whipping it out. So it's time to showcase all the money that we wasted well. C'est la vie, say the old folks. It's Geekblur Show and Tell. Yeah, I completely forgot about show and tell this week. I'll start off. I just took this off my wall. This is the picture I was talking about.
Oh, nice.
Like last month.
Yep.
It's a framed, the framed picture from Alex Ross.
Nice.
I really like that one. It was just a print I bought for like $10, and then you end up getting your crypto one for free. It was stuck in the back of it. So, yep, that was mine. That's mine this month because I completely forgot about it. But
The Complete Works of Swamp Thing by Alan Moore.
Holy shit!
Yeah, looking forward to getting into this at some point when I can carve out like 3 days. But I'm looking forward to it. Swamp Thing, Alan Moore, classic. So
yeah, that's nice.
Yes,
Nice box.
I read the first issue because that was the one I bought at the Kevin Smith shop. So that's the only
Oh
one
yeah,
I
that's
read.
right.
I'll probably reread it when I do the entire saga.
Awesome. Starting off the show with some wrestling talk. We watched the pay-per-view last week.
Premium live event. I know, it's like
back
Twitter.
in the day.
It's like Twitter. I'm never calling Twitter X.
It's a pay-per-view. It's always going to be a pay-per-view, even though we don't pay for it.
Oh, we pay
it's
for
streaming on Netflix. Well, $6.99 is a lot better than $50 a month that we used to pay. But
no kidding. Or, you know, when you have a black box, you just charge gammon.
Looking at the card. Yeah, we used to do that. Looking at the card. Wasn't much to this show in the beginning. We thought, well, some good matches. Elimination Chamber usually plays well on a couple months before WrestleMania because we get the main event usually finalized. But the big thing we knew was going to be The Rock meeting up with Cody Rhodes because The Rock wanted Cody Rhodes' soul.
Yep.
That's the last thing we left off on Raw or a couple weeks ago before that. But we also knew the men's elimination chamber had a lot of potential. It had not only John Cena coming back, but it had CM Punk trying to main event WrestleMania. It had the young and up and coming Logan Paul, pretty much going against all the odds, and he's just so great in the ring. But you got Drew McIntyre, you got Rollins, you got Gothic Undertaker, what's his name, Damian Priest. So the men's one was already stacked. Plus you had the undercard of Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, which was a 5-star fucking match. It was amazing.
Yeah, that was a good match.
And you also had on the poster musical guest star Travis Scott, which we'll get to in a minute.
Fuck that guy.
But the internet, I don't think they expected what happened. I don't think anybody did expect it to happen what happened. John Cena won the Elimination Chamber, and then The Rock came out to confront Cody Rhodes, asking him, "Are you going to be my champion? Are you going to let me take your soul?" Cody Rhodes told him to fuck off, and as John Cena and Cody Rhodes shook hands and embraced, The Rock gave John Cena the thumb to the neck signal, telling him to take down Cody Rhodes, and the internet went ballistic. I don't know how many times you've watched this video, but John Cena...
It was all over Twitter for like 3 days, so I saw it every time it was on Twitter. And there was so many memes out of it, yeah.
Yeah, I've got them all here, and the thing about it was John Cena did finally, after 23 years, wasn't it, like something like that, finally turned heel, attacked Cody Rhodes in a bloody, bloody mess, teamed up with The Rock, who they had a feud about 12 years ago at WrestleMania, a couple WrestleManias in a row, they had a couple matches, and this is the final scene of what the pay-per-view was, with Travis Scott smoking a blunt in the corner, by the way.
Yeah. What were they calling it? They were calling it Sage on the live broadcast.
Sage.
They were saying
it was not Sage.
It was not Sage.
It was
definitely not Sage.
But yeah, John Cena completely turning heel, attacking him with a microphone, attacking him with The Rock's Cody Soul belt, the weight belt. Yeah, they just went ballistic, and I don't think John Cena's going to be on TV again until the 17th, which is like a week and a half away,
yeah.
2 weeks. But yeah, this was an incredible moment. We did not expect it. I think I told you in the show I expected somebody to turn heel. Because right now WWE did not have a good heel in the company that could like a authoritative heel besides The Rock, who's there once a month right now, and then he's gone.
If you look at their heels versus their faces, I mean, you have Roman Reigns, obviously, but
yeah,
it's like completely reversed from like 4 years ago as to who's a babyface and who's a heel.
Yep.
But you know what? We got somebody leading the charge. It's going to be very fun to watch in the WrestleMania season. That is CM Punk. Because Jesus Christ, that promo
on Raw was amazing.
Oh, I was like, pipe bomb CM Punk. Like that was awesome.
But the John Cena, you mentioned it. The memes on the internet. First of all, this got viewed, I think, within 36 or maybe 24 hours. It got viewed like over 100 million times on all the social medias, all the YouTubes, everything. There's that one, like the ending of the match, the ending of the segment, where he attacked Cody Rhodes. But I'm gonna put a couple of pictures of the memes that I loved. These are a few of them. John Cena, of course, went online. He's been posting all week, kind of cryptically, but he did the Grand Theft Auto meme because everybody said John Cena turned heel before Grand Theft Auto 6 came out.
Yep.
Did not expect it. The other one was the black and white, the big one in the middle. John Cena, fuck them kids.
That's
because he's a Make-A-Wish.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's famous from the Michael Jordan documentary.
Yeah.
When that first started going around with Michael Jordan. Then it happened with Tom Brady when he came out of retirement after being home with his kids for 2 months.
One on the far right in the top, every Make-A-Wish kid John Cena's ever helped just turned to dust, Thanos style.
Yep.
And then another one, I don't think I have it there. John Cena, now that he's evil, and they took a Kanye quote. I turned down 3 photos this week to Make-A-Wish kids in wheelchairs.
I sent
my
you
favorite one.
That one where he was following the anti-gun person.
No.
I sent you that on text, and I said,
"Oh yeah."
On Twitter. Well, the reason why that's funny to me is I don't know how long John Cena's been following that person, but in the last like 3 days, they have been ridiculed on Twitter because that account was making fun of an autistic Superman fan, and nobody noticed that John Cena followed him until like yesterday.
Oh, fuck. My favorite meme of this whole entire thing was the one on the bottom right, the NWO with John Cena's bald spot, and I have a feeling
that was like immediate too. That like was that
immediate, and of course I posted online the New World Order of Wrestling brother. Of course, a lot of similarities to what Hogan did. We'll talk about that in a minute. Mm-hmm. The similarities and what you think is the best heel turn in the business, but I know there's a lot more than just those two, but that was my favorite one. And then of course the rumor is that John Cena is going to cut all of his hair off and go bald because of this.
Yes,
I think it'd be great.
I think it'd be funny if he wore a hairpiece.
Another one of my favorites.
Fucking hilarious.
Another one of my favorites was John Cena. Ernest goes heel because an Ernest title. And the other one was the New York Yankees John Cena because he's a Boston guy. I cannot wait to see John Cena in Boston and see how that crowd's going to react. They should have had the Raw that he returns in Boston, but and there were signs from the very beginning. The Rock posted the poster on the left there of John Cena, Travis Scott, and himself. Pretty much the signs were there that this was going to happen, and then I think it was Bad Blood. He came out a couple pay-per-views ago, and he did the 3 symbol like John Cena does, and the signs were all there. The thing about The Rock being there, there's been some great long-term storytelling, which we have not had in a while in wrestling. And I don't know if that's McMahon's fault. I don't know if Triple H just has more of an eye to the public, especially to social media. I don't know why that is, but it's definitely more tongue in cheek and trying to swerve the fans, and they did a fantastic job. This is one of the best heel turns I've ever seen. So let's talk about the longevity of this. Okay, we've got, of course, 1996, almost exactly 25 years ago. No, 27 years ago. 20. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but no, 30 years ago. Fuck. Hogan joined the NWO, became a heel after a decade plus of being the top babyface of wrestling. First in WWE, and then he went over to WCW, became the babyface there, and became stale a little bit because it was just an old act. So he reinvented himself, dyed his hair black, became a member of NWO, the leader of the NWO. Did a lot for wrestling at the time.
Hogan dyed his hair, like his facial hair.
His facial hair. He kept the blonde on the top. Yeah,
he kept it. Was weird looking.
Yeah, but did a lot for wrestling, not only for WCW but for WWF at the time. Brought eyes to wrestling for the first time in probably, I don't know, 6 or 7 years mainstream after WrestleMania 1 and all that. But this, I think, just because John Cena was face for so long and refused to be a heel for so long, and of course we know this is his final year. He's promoting it as his final run as a character on television, as John Cena, the character on WWE. And by December, which there's a rumor that his final pay-per-view is going to be in Boston, called Ruthless Aggression. Sometimes in December at the end of the year, that's going to be his final run in the match. But he's also going for the record of world title number 17, which is currently held 16 by Ric Flair. He's trying to beat that record. I think because of that, the longevity and holding on to that face for so long, I think Cena eclipses Hogan, and it's going to bring in a lot of eyes. I'd be interested to see what the ratings are going to be that Raw that he comes back, and what that heel promo is going to be, because we have not seen a heel promo from John Cena since 2004, right? So yeah, it's 22 years ago. Yep. It'd be interesting to see how that plays out.
2003 Survivor Series when he turned down joining Team Heyman at the Survivor Series, and that was the last time he was a heel.
And at that time, it was all raps. He was a rapper. He was doing. Eminem was big. 8 Mile was huge, so he's doing a lot of battle raps, which were really, really funny. Could not be played on television nowadays, some of them, but I'm not sure. I don't think he's going to go that route. I think it's going to be more of a corporate champion. I think he's going to shave his head, wear a tuxedo, maybe.
I think what's going to happen is he's going to do. He was originally supposed to go heel in 2012,
Yep.
and that was a big. They were like 2 days away from it, and Vince McMahon changed his mind. He had new
Yep.
gear. He had a new theme song. This
Yep.
interview came out over like the last week,
Yep.
and the whole idea was that he was going to do the exact opposite. So instead of being accountable, he was just not going to show up. He was going to
Yep.
lose. He was going to do a lot of stuff. He was basically going to change. Like, he gets it. Like, he understands the business. So I think that's pretty much what we're going to get anyways, because he'll be out doing other things, filming things.
Yeah.
So it's
he's
almost
gonna be
perfect
busy.
timing now that he's in Hollywood. So yeah.
In summer, he's got SummerSlam. He's going to be promoting that plus Peacemaker at the same time. And then he's going to be promoting his last final tour with the company. So
Yep.
he's going to be around for quite a lot of this, and it'll be great to see how he's going to pull this off.
Yeah.
I'm very interested. Very interested. I'm into it. In WrestleMania season, we're always into it this time of year, but we're invested now.
As far as heel turns go all time, I still have Hogan way above this because it was way more unexpected back then. At that time, because he was supposed to be the savior and everything. So I'd have Hogan one. This would probably
I'll
be
tell
top
you.
five. It's hard for me to say. What's that?
I'll tell you the legit night that I was pissed was when I was over at your house and I saw Austin turn heel.
Yep,
That
was
like
another
took
one.
that
was
took
at
a lot of
WrestleMania, wasn't it?
that was at a WrestleMania at the end and it was against The Rock, I
19?
believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he joined forces with McMahon at the very, very end, and yeah,
That ended up
it
being
didn't really work out.
Huge
Yeah,
mistake. Yeah, it didn't really
Yeah.
work out because I don't think Steve wanted to do it at all, anyways.
no, that was a McMahon.
My
edict,
other
but yeah.
favorite heel run of all time, and that's just because of how creative it was when Brett became a bad
Oh,
guy.
Brett.
But he was,
Yeah.
but he was only a bad guy in the United States, and everywhere
Canada
else he went,
was
he was
crazy.
a good guy. So that was
Yep.
that was just crazy because that had never been done. So I probably put. Also, he's like my favorite of all time. So that's probably like Hogan 1, that 2, probably Cena 3, and then Austin 4. But that's
Yep.
also in
I
hindsight,
like that.
seeing Austin not work out either. Like, it just didn't really take on.
No, the fans were
rejected it at
not
that point.
booing him. They
Yeah.
they were
'Cause he was
every time
always-
his theme song.
He was
They even
always
tried
kind
to
of
change the theme.
Anti-good guy, anyways. Like, he was always like
Right.
a bad guy, but he
He's
was
anti-hero.
popular. Yeah, so.
Yeah. Yeah, it did not work. I think we saw him at Raw a few times, and I still cheered him. And
Yeah, everyone did.
that's definitely the opposite reaction that they wanted. But you wanted to talk about the new game. I know WWE
Yes.
2K25 came out this week, and you played a little bit of it. I'll give you your quick reactions to what you played so far.
Oh yeah, number 5, real quick. Go back in the last topic. Number 5 was one of the coolest
Sean?
heel turns. No, one of the coolest heel
That's a good
turns.
one.
Though. That was a good one. That actually might be number 5.
Marty
that
Jannetty,
was
right?
Good. Yeah, that was
that's
really
a good one.
good.
Through the barbershop.
Yeah, that's probably number 5. That was shocking at the time as a child.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What
We'll go
was
with
your
that as
original
number
number 5? What was your original number 5?
I think I've lost
Your
it.
honorable mention.
My thought might be gone. Too much talking. Happens to me frequently. It's okay. But yeah, 2K25. I got it. Didn't have internet, so I actually explored other modes than Universe mode, because usually I just download a bunch of stuff and play Universe
Yeah.
mode. The GM mode is awesome because you basically
Yep.
pick up to 4 GMs and everything, and then you draft rosters and see who performs, who doesn't. That was fun, but the big mode is it all has to do with Roman Reigns and his family. So you get
Yep.
to play as the head shrinkers from you get to play as a match with them from WrestleMania 9. You get to play as Yokozuna for the first time, I think, since 1994's WWF Raw game.
Wow.
You get to play as The Rock's father at one point in a tag team match. So it's been a lot of fun. I got internet back and downloaded some stuff. One of the things
So
I
it's a whole-
didn't like.
So the whole Samoan. So it's like a whole Samoan history. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I
it's
like
a
that.
whole history of that entire family throughout when they entered the business all the way throughout. And of course, you get to play against the Steiner brothers. Then you beat them and unlock them and stuff like that.
Well, that's cool.
But yeah, I downloaded a bunch of playable characters once I got internet back and started up Universe mode, and that was all right. Yeah, overall, I do like these games. The chain grappling I was excited about, but I don't really like doing it in game that much. But you can turn it off, so that's not a bad thing. Overall, yeah, it's a lot of fun. I love these games just because you can use so much creativity if you want to be creative and book matches, especially with the GM mode where I just book the matches and don't really play them. And like you have to earn a certain amount of money. So like I started up as like Paul Heyman in ECW, and you only have $4 million to spend, and everyone's like got a certain number of what they're worth. Took a couple top guys, obviously CM Punk I took with my first draft pick, and Roman Reigns, and I picked a lot of like undercard guys. And the good thing about being ECW is you don't have to have, there's no women's titles because there's never women's titles in ECW, so you don't have to worry about picking the women, which can get a little tricky with how much some of them are paid versus like I'd rather have like CM Punk and AJ Styles and Roman Reigns on my roster than like Charlotte Flair, like replacing one of them because their money is the same value. So that's why I picked ECW. But yeah, overall, very good game. I'd give it a solid 4 out of 5 from what I've played so far in the 2 days I had it. So yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I would like to play that too. I know the last couple of years they've gotten high marks on their games.
Yeah.
I know they had a little run there.
You never got 24 in October, right? When it was free on PlayStation.
I did. I checked.
Okay.
I did. Yeah,
I would play that because this is basically just takes that and just builds upon it. It's a much better feeling game from the gameplay perspective. So if I was you, I'd fire up 24 and see if you want to put the money or wait until 25 is probably gonna be free again, like the fall.
Yeah. Cool. Let's talk about what else we watched this week. Great documentary started. It's going to be weekly on Max on HBO, called Celtics City. I'm not sure how many episodes are going to be, but this episode is all about the Boston Celtics, the history of them. First episode started off in the 1950s, 1960s, talking about Red Auerbach, whatever his name is.
Yep.
Auerbach. Bob Cousy, heard of him. We just talked about him. What was that movie? Celtic Pride. He was in that. He had a little quick cameo.
Yep.
And Bill Russell. All names that I know, I've heard before. Bill Russell I could put the face to, but the other two I couldn't. I also talked about the reign that they had in the 50s, which I did not realize was a run at the time.
The 50s
was
and
huge.
60s.
Yeah, 59 through 64.
Yeah.
They won every single year in a row, which is a record, you told me. I did not know that.
Yeah,
it's not been broken.
My dad said, well, besides the fact you couldn't really watch the games on TV, that he didn't even look up if they won or lost because they just didn't lose. Like, they just did not lose games, which is crazy. And the fact that how we ended up with Bill Russell with all that stuff going down with basically, what was it, Atlanta or no, St. Louis Hawks, like, didn't want any African Americans on their team, and Red Auerbach's like, I do. So that's how he ended up with like Bill Russell. And Bob Cousy was another one where like he only wanted to play for us, and he went to St. John's, and Auerbach's like, I'm not taking him. Then he like just basically ended up on the team somehow. Yeah, it was a great documentary. I can't wait to get into like the 80s. I'm assuming it's probably it's got to be at least 4 parts. Yeah. I would think. It seems like the first one covered like 50s and 60s, and then maybe 70s and 80s, 90, early 2000s, and then I don't know till present. So
yeah,
but great start.
The part I liked about it the most, I think, was just Boston at the time, being predominantly Irish, and the racial tensions of the 1960s, which we knew was happening, segregation, all that stuff. And how a lot of the black players, there were not a lot of black players, but when somebody like Bill Russell would come in, there's a lot of racial stuff going on at the time. And Bob Cousy, a lot of the guys who he played with, who he worked with, stood up for him. I did like that part of the documentary.
And, there's 9 episodes.
Episode
5 is called "Fuck the Celtics."
Episode 8
is called Ubuntu, which will be about the 2008 team because that was their mantra, I believe. And then We're the Celtics, I assume, will be about the current team. Is the last episode title. So yeah, Fuck the Celtics is probably going to be. They'll probably spend at least 2 episodes on the Lakers-Celtics rivalry because that started in the 60s and then went into the 70s and then the 80s, of course, and then we played them again in 2008. So
nice. So Kevin got me to finally watch Reacher. Not only did I watch season 1 because you lost power, I ended up watching season 2 today and yesterday. So we were supposed to record on Friday, but I had a couple of days to watch the second season.
I I can
What
skip
a
my
fucking-
season 3 recap, and we'll wait till next week, and we'll just do all of
Yeah,
the ones that
I'm gonna
Perfect.
catch up. Yeah.
Perfect.
Number one, Alan Richardson. At first, I did not want him to play Batman. I want him to play Batman, and the reason for it being, the thing about him, he's got very, very cool comedic chops. Batman, not necessarily a comedic character, very serious. There's not a lot of other DC characters besides Superman, which he would have been a fantastic Superman. The other thing, if he does play Batman in the DCU, he would make Corn Sweat look like a fucking pin compared to him, because this guy is buff and built like a fucking brick shithouse.
Yep.
So there's not really a lot. He needs to be a part of something. And like I mentioned to you, I think in text, like, this guy was on Smallville, had a whole bunch of little smaller roles. I think you said Blue Mountain State
Yep.
was another show he was in. Wasn't hugely successful. The run of where we went from Smallville to here, like, where was this guy for the last 20 years? 10, 15 years, however long it's been since he's been on Smallville. But what a fucking actor. What a fucking crazy show. A lot of action, a lot of humor.
The whole thing about him as
tongue-in-cheek.
Batman, I just don't see him as Bruce Wayne. Batman, absolutely. But
I
Bruce
don't
Wayne
know.
is
I don't know.
He's not very,
After seeing the show, I
I haven't
do.
really seen him be too suave in many things. Like,
I don't
that
know.
Bruce Wayne. But it
This
depends on
last-
what they're going for. It depends on what they're going for with Bruce Wayne. So
This last season, where he has the kind of the romantic hookup with one of his old army cohorts, that's where I kind of got the idea. Well, he could really be a great Batman Bruce Wayne if they pulled the trigger on it. Because we also saw that with Ben Affleck. So yeah, I don't know. We weren't sure when we saw that at first either. Yeah, I don't know. We'll get back into that a whole other time. But the show is amazing. In the second season alone, you had the bald guy from The Wire. You had Robert Patrick. The cast was incredible. The show is incredible. So funny. A lot of action. Made me want to go kill a whole bunch of
yeah,
special
hilarious.
agents. He's hilarious. And it's just tongue in cheek because he doesn't understand the world. And he's a drifter like Rocky. Not like Rocky, like Rambo. He doesn't have any attachments. He doesn't own anything besides a toothbrush. And when they got $65 million, they asked Reacher, "What do you want to buy with that $65 million? What do you want for myself?" "Well, I need a new toothbrush." And he was 100% serious. That's all he wanted. It was a great show. This is on Amazon Prime. If you have not seen the show, I recommend it. Very quick watch. I think most episodes were under 45 minutes. I was able to watch almost the whole entire season today.
Yeah.
And a little bit yesterday.
You should
but,
start season 3 tonight and let me know what you think of the first episode.
Yeah, I know it's set in Maine. And we're gonna talk about it on Friday. But yeah, I cannot wait to get into season 3. And another great show returned this week. But I did watch Daredevil season 3 on Netflix. I watched the second half. Matt's revelation that Maggie the Nun is his mother. You saw the flashback of that, was amazing. Fisk has infiltrated the FBI, and he ends up getting released from custody. His code name the FBI gave him was Kingpin. We did hear that for the first time. A lot of court manipulation, parallels to the John Gotti jury tampering, which I just watched randomly. But he did manipulate the jury in that too. There's a great Karen flashback episode, and it all leads up to a big,
one, right?
yep, and it all leads up to a big, huge church fight that Daredevil and Bullseye have, which is amazing. The fight choreography in that season was great. Agent Nadeem, great character, ended up getting ambushed at the courthouse. He's assassinated by Dex. Kingpin's wedding to Vanessa. All white motif. You knew there was going to get blood on it eventually. And Bullseye retaliates against Kingpin because he realizes that Daredevil tells him that Kingpin ended up killing the woman that he was kind of obsessed with. And Bullseye just went crazy on him. And the very end, you have Matt Murdock versus Bullseye versus Wilson Fisk in the penthouse. A big, huge showdown. And in the end, Dexter gets paralyzed. Bullseye gets paralyzed. Matt lets Kingpin free, but he's arrested. And he has a deal with Kingpin to leave Vanessa alone if Fisk is arrested, and Bullseye is paralyzed, so kind of leaves everything. This was 6 years ago. Kind of leaves everything up in the air. What's going to happen?
Wasn't there a post credit after the last episode with Bullseye
where
basically getting the adamantium?
Yep, he's getting his spine repaired so he can walk again, and that's where we picked up with Daredevil Born Again. Came back. This is 2025, so came back 8 years after the Netflix series. To an amazing start, incredible start actually. 2 episodes aired this week. The first episode, the first 15 minutes, you've got the return of Bullseye, you got the return of Foggy Nelson. Spoiler, R.I.P. And then within the first 15. Well, we'll talk about that in a minute. Vanessa comes back after she hasn't really been talking to Kingpin much after everything that happened in the time being gone. She is kind of running the business. She's the Queenpin of New York. Fisk runs for mayor, ends up becoming mayor. We see Bebe Urich, who is the niece to Ben Urich, who was a big part of the first couple of seasons of Daredevil. His Wilson Fisk campaign organizers his name is Daniel Blake, played by Michael Gandolfini. Of course, pedigree, James Gandolfini is his father. And Mayor-elect Fisk goes on television and warns not only Matt, but a whole bunch of other superheroes and vigilantes that there will not be any fuckery going on in New York as I'm mayor. And the exact quote that he says in episode 2 to any New York City vigilantes, talking about not only Matt Murdock, but a man that dresses in a spider outfit, which of course is a reference to Spider-Man. We see White Tiger, a character in the comic books who has a medallion who gives him superpowers. We see the kid from Wednesday. I don't remember his name in Wednesday, but we see him. He's going to be playing Muse in the show. And we see him, a quick little glimpse of him in this episode. And the Fisks, Vanessa and Wilson, go to marriage counseling, with Matt's new girlfriend being their marriage counselor. And Matt kills a whole bunch of corrupt cops. One of the cops has a Punisher symbol tattoo on their wrist, setting up what we're going to be getting soon. But so let's talk about the death. We'll talk about the big reveal that Foggy gets killed in the first episode. However, it's comic book lore that this is based off of that. There is a comic book run where Foggy fakes his own death in order to save the people that he cares about. He goes into witness protection. I'm not sure if that's going to happen in the show or not. I'm not sure if that's going to stay, but there is a comic book history to that. But then Brad Wintermom went on an interview saying that not only is Deborah Ann Woll coming back next year, but Eldon Henson, who plays Foggy, it will also be coming back for season 2, which probably shouldn't have been said, because it does make you think, well, he's probably either going to be flashbacks or coming back for season 2 because he did not really die. But yeah, very good show. Comes out every Tuesday night, 9 o'clock, prime time, if you do want to watch it, catch up on it. And yeah, very excited. Very excited to see where the show goes. I did watch a quick Gene Hackman marathon. I want to talk about 4 movies and ask you about a whole bunch of other ones to see if you've seen them. First one I'm going to talk about is Bonnie and Clyde, 1967. This is his first movie. He had a supporting role in it. He played one of the members of the Bonnie and Clyde gang, the Borough Gang. A very good movie. I never saw it before. Warren Beatty, Faye Dunaway, great movie. You just talked about it last week. Unforgiven, 1992, directed by Clint Eastwood, starring him and Morgan Freeman, and of course Gene Hackman, and what's his name? I can't see his name on the poster there. The guy who played Dumbledore in Harry Potter, Richard Harris. Yes. He was great in that too. Great fucking movie. Royal Tenenbaums, okay movie. This came out in 2001. Comedy. I'm not a big, huge Paul Anderson, whatever his name is, Paul Thomas Anderson, I think is his name. Not a big, huge fan of his style. I didn't really like Rushmore. I didn't really like this. I did like Gene Hackman's role in it. I liked Ben Stiller. It's just a weird movie, weird style, very artistic, very artsy, the way he shot it. But and The French Connection came out in 1971. This is kind of what made him a star, as a leading man star of movies. Where he played a detective and he's chasing down this connection, a French connection, and trying to figure out where drugs are coming from. Really good movie, and a lot of basis for a lot of cop dramas that came out in the last 20, 30 years. Definitely came from that. I wanted to ask you, have you seen The Poseidon Adventure in 1972?
No, not the original. I've seen like the remake, which was not good.
Okay.
I think the remake was like straight to DVD.
Yeah, that came out after The French Connection. He was in that. A Bridge Too Far. Have you seen that?
Long time ago.
Now that has Sean Connery. It has James Caan. It has Gene Hackman. I can't remember who else is in it, but it had a huge cast at the time. I was like, holy shit, there's a lot of like mainstream actors from. This is 1977, right during the year of Star Wars. So very cool. The Conversation. That was a Coppola, Francis Ford Coppola movie. Came out right around the time of The Godfather. He starred in that. Crimson Tide. I'm sure you've seen that.
Yeah,
with,
that's the sub movie with Denzel.
Yeah.
I like that movie because that was the first time like I watched a movie where like they let you know where you were in the movie based on the lighting. Like if you if like any scene, I think it was the Russian sub had like red lighting and the other sub had like blue lighting or something like that. Yeah, that movie, I watched that a bunch growing up because my father, of course, worked at the shipyard and loved submarines.
Yep. So. Right, yeah. The Firm, 1993, Tom Cruise. I'm sure you've seen that.
Yeah.
Yep. Behind Enemy Lines. I'm sure you've seen that. It came out in 2001.
Yep.
Enemy of the State. You just talked about that last week. 1998 with Will Smith.
When I think of Gene Hackman, it's Enemy of the State because that was probably the first time I knowingly watched a movie with him. Like I'd seen other movies with him in it before, like Hoosiers, but like I didn't know who he was at the time. So yeah, Enemy of the State's classic.
Yeah, all those I have not seen. They're all on my radar. I will be watching some of them. A Bridge Too Far, I'm kind of really interested in that just because of the cast. Not highly regarded on Rotten Tomatoes, but I don't give a shit about that. Speaking of Rotten Tomatoes, another movie came out last week on digital, Love Hurts, starring Q Kwan, Ariana DeBois. Have you seen this yet? Have you watched it?
I'm going to watch it tonight. I just didn't get around to it this week.
It's okay. It's an okay movie. It's pretty much what you expected. The trailers give a lot of it away. A lot of the great moments, a lot of action. It's pretty much what you'd expect from a movie like this, I would say. You're not going to get much of a story out of it, but it's a lot of great action. A lot of I love seeing him in a movie. He's just great. But yeah, for me, it's probably like 3.5 out of 5. Decent movie. We went to the movies. I ended up seeing one, but we'll talk about Mickey 17, the one we saw together first. We did see Mickey 17. Big movie came out this weekend. Fantastic fucking sci-fi
Loved
movie.
it,
Yeah, loved it. Robert Pattinson, incredible, playing multiple characters. At one point in this movie, he plays two characters, Mickey 17 and Mickey 18. If you don't know the premise of the movie, he is sent to space to be a person who is replaceable. In other words, every time he dies, they're going to clone him because they're doing testing on space travel, going to another planet for survival. So they're going to use him as a guinea pig. Anytime something's going to be a risk or somebody could die, he's going to go test it and see if he could live it. He usually doesn't. That's why he's Mickey 17, because they've cloned him 17 times.
Yes.
At one point in the movie, he goes into this ice planet and he falls and they think he dies. So they already replaced him with Mickey 18, but he does not die. That's in the trailer. Everybody knows that.
Mickey 18's a real son of a bitch. And
Mickey 18's a little out there.
Mickey 18 also uses the Batman voice, so I love that.
Yes, very.
A couple times.
It's weird because Robert Pattinson is working off of himself, acting against himself, and totally two different personalities.
Because every time he comes back,
he's
different. Yeah.
Yep. And he's kind of this mousy. 17's kind of this mousy, geeky, nerdy guy, and 18's like, I don't give a fuck. I will shoot you. I will kill you. Maim you. And when they interact with each other, it's incredible. Great movie, 4.5 out of 5. And I think the sci-fi in this, the only thing I did not like about it was Mark Ruffalo. Maybe it was his teeth. I don't know what it was. There's something weird about Mark Ruffalo in this movie.
He was chewing the scenery.
Yes.
obviously this movie is getting now compared to what's happening with the presidential stuff here in America.
Yes, very much, very
a lot
much.
of people are comparing it to that, and they're like, well, no wonder they released this, and they're like, and a lot of people are saying they all thought Trump was going to lose the election with the way this movie is done. Says a lot about political landscapes.
Yep.
Bong Joon-ho always has a message in his films. You haven't seen Parasite yet, right?
No, I meant to watch it this week, but we had so much on the docket, I figured I'd hold off on it.
It's excellent. I'd probably rewatch that. It's very good. I like it a lot. But yeah.
That was great. So 4.5 out of 5 for me. But before that, I did end up finally seeing Captain America: Brave New World. First of all, not as bad as the reviews say it is. I enjoyed a lot of the moments. There were a couple of moments I verbally said, oh shit. Number one, I was the only one in the theater, so I was able to do that without anybody looking at me. But I want to talk about a few things that have not been talked about online much. The power that he gets from his suit, which is Wakandan technology, it's the same as Black Panther, where you get all this kinetic energy built up, and then he does this explosive power coming out of his suit, which is very cool, reminiscent of Black Panther, of course. The Serpent Society and Sidewinder, played by Giancarlo Esposito. In the comic books, he's kind of a mutated figure, and this is just an army figure going after Captain America. I thought he was great in this, but you could tell that was definitely rammed into this movie. It was not a part of the original concept of it. Of course, we know that he was cast later on, and after they did reshoots and everything. This is all reshoots, you can tell. Isaiah Bradley was my favorite part of this movie. But if you did not see Falcon and the Winter Soldier, that backstory is definitely missed on you, because that's the best part of that show too. And I definitely want to read that book, Red, White, and Black, where he's the first Captain America, but with the racial tensions of the 1960s, they take it out on him. And there's a big story in the movie about that too, where he wears a tuxedo that his wife gave him. And he doesn't want, when he's being arrested for trying to kill the president under hypnosis, he tells the cops, do not rip my suit, don't hurt my suit, because it was the last gift that his wife gave him. Of course, Adamantium debuted in this. We already knew that. A lot of this stuff should not have been in the trailer. That's the problem with this movie, I will say. Because Adamantium would have been a great surprise. The Red Hulk would have been a fantastic surprise. We'll get into that in a minute. The leader, Mr. Blue from the first Incredible Hulk movie. Okay, villain, kind of. Not my leader. Like, you see the leader in the comic books, huge brain, double the size of his head. More of a mutation with you can actually see the brain, like the ripples through his brain, through his skull. It's kind of weird. But he's very smart. Instead of getting the power that the Hulk gets when he's through the gamma radiation, he ends up getting the radiation going into his brain. So he's super smart. He's logistically smart, so he can figure out logical steps of what's going to happen next. We'll get into that in a minute. The Celestial Island's cool, but again, all in the trailer. It would have been a great reveal if that was shown in the movie. We see Bucky, little quick glimpse of Bucky.
I heard
he's running
fantastic.
Very good. It's kind of the end of the movie where Sam's losing a grip on if he can actually be Captain America and take over Steve Rogers' helm. But Bucky kind of talks him into it. It's like, you got this, pal. And Bucky's great. He's also running for Congress, which is going to lead us into Thunderbolts. Speaking of Thunderbolts, President Ross, Harrison Ford's amazing in this movie. It's Harrison Ford, of course he's going to be. But the Red Hulk was incredible. And there's a lot of the stuff that was not in the trailer, but most of it was. There's a couple of great scenes of Red Hulk jumping off the White House and exploding it. It was great. The way the Red Hulk looked, it just looks great. Of course, the whole movie was setting up him reuniting with Betty Ross, who they had a falling out after Incredible Hulk when he was chasing Bruce Banner. And the end of the movie, President Ross is put onto the raft, which is a prison in the middle of the ocean, and spoiler alert, Betty Ross meets him in the cell, and they kind of they reconcile and they're talking again. After credits, we talked about it before, but it's set on the raft as well, but this time it's the leader's perspective, and he talks about the probability of others coming. You're not alone, Captain America. Others are going to be coming. You're naive. He uses his brain to figure out the probability that there are others in the universe, other multiverses, everything. So that's obviously setting up Secret Wars or Doomsday or whatever. But 3.5 out of 5 for me. Decent movie. Not the best, not the worst Marvel movie. Better than the Marvels. Better than Iron Man 2. Maybe Iron Man. Maybe not Iron Man 2. But definitely Thor 2. Captain Marvel. The Marvels. I can't think of what else is, but it's a really, really good movie. I do wish that Sam had powers, but I understand why he doesn't. And that's a big part of this movie too, why he didn't take the serum for superhero strength. But yeah, we'll see if that ever happens. I don't know, but very good movie. So with that being said, let's get into the news. And it's not a news segment with a trailer on it. Got a new trailer for Ballerina. Really quick trailer, actually. But I believe this came out last week during the Oscars. Or whatever it was. But yeah, Ballerina. Looks good. With Ariana, whatever her name is. That's it. And Keanu are coming back. Got a new trailer for a new show coming on Amazon Prime on April 3rd called The Bondsman. This stars Kevin Bacon. He's a devil's bounty hunter, and it was a really good Red Band trailer that came out for it. If you have not seen it, go check it out. Where he's basically just a detective or a bounty hunter searching out demons. It's a really, really cool looking trailer. Looks good. Another show trailer we talked about it a few weeks ago, called Momland, coming out March 30th, streaming with Tom Hardy, Pierce Brosnan, Helen Mirren, coming out on March 30th on Paramount Plus. It looked really good. This is Guy Ritchie directing this. Yeah, check that out if you haven't. This not so good, but the poster, I just need to show the poster because Bambi Reckoning. You get the full trailer this week for that movie. I don't know if you ran into it or not.
I did not run into it somehow.
Oh boy. Bambi goes nuts. Bambi's taking out every human because they killed his mother, I have a feeling. But this is, of course, setting up what we're going to be getting the big Poonaverse movie at the end of the year, next year. But speaking of old IP being brought into the horror element, Screamboat. Saw a little trailer for this too. This is from the makers of Terrifier and The Mean One, which was not a good movie.
Terrifier himself.
Yep, David Howard Thornton coming in as Steamboat Willie, but they actually played the theme song. I wasn't sure if the theme song was part of the IP that was available, but yes, they did play it in the trailer. And this comes out on April 2nd in theaters, limited time, so probably in digital at the beginning of next month. But yeah, oof. And we got a new trailer for The Studio. This is coming out on Apple TV Plus March 26th, getting a lot of great reviews, saying it's one of Seth Rogen's best written things in a while. A lot of guest stars in it too. Catherine O'Hara, Catherine Hahn, Ike Barinholtz, Bryan Cranston, Martin Scorsese, Anthony Mackie, Ron Howard. A lot of big name Hollywood actors,
caused
directors.
Some situations on comic book Twitter because Zack Snyder is also in this.
Yes.
And so people changed the Variety article about this to like the second paragraph, basically saying James Gunn wanted to be in it, but he required a certain amount of screen time, this, that, and the other, basically making James Gunn look bad. So like all of that side of Twitter is like sharing it as if it's like actual the article. But I cannot wait for this. I think it's, you say it's a movie or a show?
It's a show. It's a show on Apple TV.
Yeah, I can't wait for this because it sounds fantastic.
Yep.
And Seth Rogen really doesn't let you down. Like I can't think of the last project where I watched with him, his involvement, and been like, that was mid. Like everything he does is good. So
yeah, they're saying that him and his writing partner are back with their writing style they used to have before. They're back on the par
is it
with
Evan
that.
Goldberg? Is that his?
Yep, Evan Goldberg.
Okay,
yep.
Cool.
Yep. So yeah, excited for that. But we also got a new trailer for Andor Season 2, which also comes out next month, April 22nd. This is kind of a behind-the-scenes trailer, but there was a lot of cool new stuff in it. We got a new poster, looked incredible too. Cannot wait for this. This is going to be more of a prequel to New Hope than Rogue One was, because we're going to get a lot of history of where these plans for the Death Star came from, how Andor got a hold of them, and all of this, and a lot of the characters from Rogue One are returning for this. A lot of characters from the original first season of Andor coming back for this as well. So very excited to see where this show goes. It starts on April 2nd on Disney Plus. Box office last week, Captain America: Brave New World had for a second weekend $15 million. Third weekend maybe. Last Breath, don't know what that is, $7.8 million, and the Monkey Movie $6.4 million, which I do want to see. And then last weekend was the Oscars. I don't know. Did you end up watching the whole thing? The Academy Awards?
Yeah.
You did? I didn't watch any of it, but I did see who won.
I got 9 out of 20 correct.
Okay.
But that was me being stupid, forgetting to fucking put Wicked down for anything. Because anytime Wicked was in a category, it was either up against Nosferatu, The Substance, or both. And I just went with my heart and went with those. But yeah, good overall show, I thought. Adrian Brody can fuck off with his
5 minute plus.
Yeah, I mean, he literally was like, he was getting played off, and he was like, no, stop. And I'm like, dude. Like, I went to the bathroom, I, like, made a pizza, came back, it was like a 2003 Triple H promo.
No, thank you.
It was bad.
Big winner last weekend was Anora, which we talked about a month ago or so. Great movie. Won Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actress for Mikey Madison. Best Film Editing for Sean Baker. Best Original Screenplay for Sean Baker. He won 4 of the big awards for the night, which is a record, I think. I think the only person that ever did that was Walt Disney. But it was for multiple movies. It was the first time somebody won for one movie. So that's really, really cool.
He left, I don't know who produced this movie, but I believe he was working for A24, and he, like, brought them the script, and they were like, nah, dog. And they also screwed him on, like, the promotion of his last movie. So he was like, all right, and he went out and made this for like $9 million and walked away with 4 Oscars for himself, 5 overall. I love stories.
Pretty incredible.
Yeah,
pretty incredible. Demi Moore losing out to Mikey Madison. Big thing. It's also the story of Substance. I mean, basically the whole plot of it. Adrian Brody won for Best Actor, Best Original Score for that movie, The Brutalist, Best Cinematography. Kieran Culkin won. Karen Culkin won for Best Actor, Best Supporting Actor for the movie. I think you saw. I haven't watched it yet.
It's yeah, he's good. He's very good in it.
Wicked won for Best Costume, Best Production Design, so the technical awards. Best Makeup was The Substance. Should have won. Good thing they did. And Best Sound, Dune Part 2. Best Visual Effects, Dune Part 2. I know that Ariana Grande came out saying Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Then they did some Wicked song. And I know the big thing was Adam Sandler coming out in a hoodie, and I heard that Conan did a pretty good job, decent job on the show.
Yeah, he did. The other thing is, I don't know if you have it in the notes here, but the Bond moment.
Yep, I have it right there.
Yeah,
I'm going to talk about it.
Cool.
We got Ben Stiller coming down to the floor, and the lift broke in the middle. I thought that was pretty cool. I did see that clip. But yeah, the Bond thing. What's her name from Substance?
Make her
came
the
out.
next Bond girl. She was
fantastic. That's basically what everybody said. But I heard the people performing the music was trash. I did not see this, but you can give me your reactions.
It was fine. The weird one was the Adele song not being done by Adele, even though I think the whole point of it was covers.
They should have done that.
The Adele song not being done by Adele was kind of weird. But I mean, I thought the performances were fine.
Okay.
Nothing really stuck out as being bad to me. But I mean, they set it off right with Margaret Qualley coming out first.
That's her name.
Yeah.
Yep.
So.
But my favorite moment from the Oscars, and I didn't even watch, was the picture of John Lithgow giving the face. That's been my background on my phone all week.
That was the joke. That was the joke Conan made, is that if John Lithgow starts giving you a bad look, then that means that your time is up and you should end your speech.
Did that happen when Adrian Brody went over? Please tell me they went back to that.
That's why they went to him. Yeah, that might be.
Oh, thank God.
And of course, the other fun one was when Conan said, "We're halfway through the show, so it's time for Kendrick Lamar to come out and call Drake a pedophile."
I did see that. I did see that. Yeah. But overall, they had a in memoriam segment. Bernard Hill from Titanic, Lord of the Rings, was not a part of it. Same with Shannon Doherty, Tony Todd, Michelle Trachtenberg, who just died that week. I understand why she wasn't. Olivia Hussey, she was in the Christmas movie that we saw.
She was mostly known for like TV, But still, at the same time, they still did Gene Hackman. So I thought it was kind
Gene
of
Hackman.
weird.
Yeah, Gene
But-
Hackman was a huge name. I understand why.
All they have to do is put your picture and your name on the screen. Like it takes. I could do that right now while you're talking
Yeah.
in the next sentence.
Yeah.
So it sucks that
Well, they
like
had a
Tony
whole-
Todd was forgotten and everyone else.
Yeah.
But obviously Hackman
they had
got
a
that
whole-
big one because he's one of the greatest actors of all time.
They had a whole segment on Gene Hackman with Morgan Freeman coming out and doing a little tribute to him. But speaking of Morgan Freeman, we talked about it last week. We weren't sure what was going on with him. The body's tested negative for carbon monoxide poisoning. Found out on Friday that they announced that not only did she die of a hantavirus, which is a virus from rats, but she died a week before Gene Hackman died. He was living in the house for a week while he was probably. They said that he was so out of it, and he's so
He had
old. Dementia.
Alzheimer's.
He had no idea.
Alzheimer's,
Alzheimer's
yeah.
dementia. He had no idea probably what was going on. That she was even dead on the floor.
which is why the dog was in the crate the entire time.
Yeah, no idea what was going on, and so yeah, sad ending to an illustrious career. She was only 67 years old or something like that too. She had this virus. Not sure where it came from, but it's, I guess, from New Mexico. It goes around quite a bit. So both of them are dead of natural causes is what they call it. But weird. Get into the rest of the news after all this death talk. There's a new documentary called Getting Lost. This is currently on Apple TV. I don't know if you've heard about it or seen it or know anything about it, but
No.
brought a lot of the actors from Lost on there. That's why I'm bringing it up. They did interviews for it. I knew you probably did want to watch it. A lot of creators. I know JJ's in that. I know Damon Lindelof is in that. So you may want to watch that and give us a review because I have not seen Lost.
Okay, I'll do that for next week. Maybe I'll
yep.
watch that tonight instead. But I gotta watch something tonight.
Yep. Tracy Morgan is going to be in a new show from the creators of 30 Rock, producers of 30 Rock, and Tina Fey on NBC about a disgraced football player. So Tracy Morgan is still a big part of that team. So they saw some new glimpses of Steven Spielberg's new movie currently being filmed, rumored to be some sort of a sci-fi, maybe extraterrestrial movie. Starring what's her name? I can't remember her name. And Wyatt Russell. I can't remember the other John Krasinski's wife. I don't remember her name, but off the top of my head, it's blanking me. But new glimpses of that. Got a new poster for The Accountant 2 with John Bernthal and Ben Affleck. I believe a new trailer came out yesterday for South by Southwest, I don't know if it came out online or not, but I know they did have a screening there. Got a new poster for Novocaine, which is also getting really great reviews, but it's set up like the board game Operation. This looks really, really cool.
Yeah.
And this comes out next week, actually. I don't know if we should go see it or not before you go, but it does look really, really good, getting amazing reviews, saying that he's actually become a star from that movie. Got a new poster for Paul American coming out March 27th on Max. This is the Logan Paul and the other Paul, Jake Paul reality show. New trailer came out for that as well.
You know what? You know what I saw this week? Why are we getting this and not the Snyderverse? Okay, continue. I just see people say that.
I could see that. I could see that being annoying. Got a new release date for Happy Gilmore 2. Comes out on July 25th, so right
Can't
around
wait.
the same day as Fantastic Four. Gonna be a busy weekend. Longlegs, Osgood Perkins, pretty much said fuck Jeff Bezos when asked if he would make a new James Bond movie. Pretty much because of all the political aspects to that more than anything. That's basically all the Bond news. We talked a lot about Bond last week, so still a lot of people talking about that. Still the Broccolis abandoning the project, and Jeff Bezos almost making it become an American prospect, which not a lot of people are liking it, but we'll see where it goes. We got an exclusive clip from the next episode of Suits LA, and Brian Baumgartner, who played Kevin on The Office, went in there playing himself. It looked really, really cool. If you love The Office, if you've seen this clip, it looks really cool. Talking about how he wants to kill his character Kevin Malone because he's typecast as Kevin. He actually does the Kevin Malone voice at the end of the clip. It's really cool. That's him on the show. WWE Hall of Fame announced that Lex Luger, almost said Luther, is going to be joining the WWF Hall of Fame.
He's in 2K25. There's like 150 wrestlers in this game. Like once you unlock them all, it's insane.
Also, speaking of WCW, they're going to be on YouTube. They actually have a youtube.com/@WCW. They actually have a page now with full WCW matches, full episodes of Monday Night Raw, Monday Nitro, and Thunder, complete pay-per-views, Clash of the Champions. So everything that was taken off of Peacock for WCW is now on YouTube. And I'm sure they're going to probably put everything on there. It's got the NWO, Goldberg, all that stuff. So if you want to watch WCW, old WCW, it's on YouTube for free. Where are we at? Oh, Video Game Hall of Fame. Got the last 12 nominations. By the end of the week, we're going to have the final 4 that are going to be actually put into the Hall of Fame. But through what we have here, we got Angry Birds, we got Frogger, we got Defender, we've got Tamagotchi, we got GoldenEye, which I think is going to be definitely in there. Call of Duty, Golden Tee, which was huge back in the day. The game Quake, the PC game Quake, NBA 2K, and a few other games that could be put into the Hall of Fame. But I think they choose 3 or 4 of these 12 that'll be in there. There is a fan vote if you want to go on there. I'm not sure the exact website, but it is the Video Game Hall of Fame if you want to look that up, and you can vote. And this week I think they're going to pick it. So, yeah. Announced this week, Neil Patrick Harris has joined the cast of Dexter. We got a first glimpse in the far right top corner of him with a wig talking to Michael C. Hall. And I just have that picture on the far right there just to see this cast of who's going to be in this show. It's fucking incredible.
I think
everybody that's coming back and new cast joining in.
They just had some shots of his son with Batista. So
Yep.
I think his son's going to be one of the ones trying to hunt him down.
Yeah, it's going to be cool. Last of Us Season 2 adds Alana Ubach and Joey Pants to the cast. And of course, you know Joey Pants from everything. The other woman we've seen in a whole bunch of stuff. She was in Waiting. She's been in a bunch of comedies. But they're going to be in that. We got a new trailer for that we'll talk about in a minute. David Arquette returning for Dewey in Scream 7 even after he dies. They're going to be doing a lot of flashbacks or something going on in Scream 7. We're not sure, but he's joined the cast. South by Southwest. We're going to talk about it at the end, but I do have this little glimpse of surprise appearance of the Xenomorphs made at the landing at South by Southwest at the beginning of the week. They had this whole thing set up with the aliens landing, the spaceship, and everything. They did a lot of huge promotion for the show. I do have some clips of the trailer that they posted yesterday as well. See a picture of the alien for the first time. See the what are those pods that they put in? So it looks really cool. Timothy Oliphant. Cannot wait to see a full trailer for that. I did have another story about the Bond. I forgot about this one. This came out too. During the whole entire thing, we were talking about it. Well, we don't want to see any spin-offs with Bond. That's why the Broccoli's were in charge. And it was rumored that maybe they were going to make a many Moneypenny one. And sure enough, the date came out this week. They were. And they also wanted to make one of the female 007. They wanted to make a TV show. And there was another one. Oh, Felix. They wanted to make a TV show on Felix. And when the Broccoli's called all the Amazon execs fucking idiots, Jeff Bezos told the executives, I don't care what it costs, get rid of her. And that's exactly what happened. It cost $1 billion.
I mean, yeah. I'd do that too. Sure,
exactly.
Take the IP, I don't care.
Yep. Got brand new cast for the new Harry Potter series. Janet McTeer, who was just in Jessica Jones when I watched that season 2. She played Jessica Jones' mother. She's been cast as Professor McGonagall. And it was rumored a few weeks or a few months ago, Papa Zidu, don't know if that's how you say it, but he's going to be playing Severus Snape. So he's taking over Alan
A lot
Richardson.
of people don't like this.
No.
I guess in the books, there's a scene where there's something about like hanging someone from a tree. And people were like, can't do that now.
Harry Potter's father gets hung by a tree. Yeah.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
A lot of controversy
we'll see how
over some of this casting, but whatever. As long as it's a good product.
Yeah, we'll see how that plays out. We're not sure, but Longlegs director Osgood Perkins says that he wants to make a Darth Vader movie about the collected dreams and nightmares of Darth Vader told as short stories. Yeah, I haven't seen Long Legs. You saw it, right? Did you
Yeah.
like it?
It's all right.
It's all right. Yeah, I don't know about that. We'll have to wait and see. So we got some swag. Let's talk about it.
Swag. Stuff we all get.
Come on, son. You know that's right.
I'm going to show you because, spoiler, I was spoiled for The Last Ronin of who the Last Ronin is because the fucking pop figures gave it away. Michelangelo is the Last Ronin.
Yep, I know.
And the ghosts of the other three are there. This actually looks really cool. That's why I'm saying it.
Yeah,
but-
when I started reading to see if I wanted to buy it, I read up to that part online when I found out it was him, and so I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then I went out and bought it.
Which is actually cool because he's the comedic part of the
Right.
whole entire Turtles. So it's actually cool that he's the one that has to be serious and he's the last lone survivor. So yeah, I'm interested to read the book now. Got a new Lego set for the Beauty and the Beast castle. $300-400. I don't know how much it is, but I didn't want to say that because it had some cool stuff in there. Got also this Polly Pocket remake for Dunder Mifflin with the World's Best Boss mug, where they had all these little minifigures from The Office. The Office layout is in there. Some scenes from The Office with Kevin and the chili, and the Jello stapler, and Michael Scott with the Boss mug on his desk. Looked really cool. I wanted to mention that. We also got a new Avengers Lego set, the Final Battle, coming out from Endgame. Sorry, with all the heroes coming in with Doctor Strange's portals. Looks really cool. Got some new pop figures. They're calling them... I can't remember what their name... They're like quotables or something. I can't remember. But, yeah, a couple Star Wars ones. Of course, I Am Your Father. No, Luke Skywalker Without a Hand. And the Hello There from Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yep.
Got some new pop figure looks at Century, of course, there. But Thunderbolts, all the cast of characters of that looked really, really cool. We got some what if characters if the movies for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles actually had Rocksteady and Bebop. I thought this looked really cool. Kind of a what if these were actually made back in 1990 when this movie first came out instead of the other ones we got. Toka and Razor, I believe their names were, but we didn't get Rocksteady and Bebop, which were huge characters. But you brought me this week. I did want to mention it came out Toy Fair. Not only a the Crow movie likeness of Brandon Lee, but the comic book figure of the Crow as well.
Real bad.
That looks really, really cool.
What's the company that makes them?
I'm not sure who makes this one. It's not Hot Toys. This is something else. This may be McFarlane. I don't think it's McFarlane either. I'm not sure who this is.
Okay.
But yeah, it looked really, really cool. They just announced them. And I don't know if you want to get into boxing or not, but these gloves look really cool. They're Daredevil gloves.
Nice.
They look really, really cool. And they also teased a new Daredevil figure for Hot Toys. They're going to be announcing. Speaking of Hot Toys, got a brand new Mr. Freeze from Batman and Robin. It looks really, really cool. Lots of LED lights and everything. I thought that was cool looking as well. I wanted to bring that up. Speaking of that, I don't have it here, but they are coming out with a new graphic. I think it's a graphic novel with Michael Keaton's Batman, where he meets up with the Riddler, played by Robin Williams. This is supposed to be the third Tim Burton movie before they cast Jim Carrey and Joel Schumacher took over for Batman Forever. The third Batman was supposed to be with Robin Williams playing the Riddler, and they're actually going to take that story and do it. I think they're saying a novel, but I think it's a graphic novel. But yeah, it looked really cool. DC Studios Starfire. A lot of talk about these animated series. Are they part of, what are they for this DCU? Are they part of the canon? And James Gunn did say that Starfire is Elseworlds, as are most of our family animated shows. I kind of figured that. Yeah, I kind of figured that as well. Yeah. Got a new clip of Garrett Dillaban, who's currently filming Green Lantern, The Lanterns, going through full body makeup, through full body prosthetic, getting fitted for some sort of a skin tight leotard uniform or something. So, yeah, that's gonna be cool. Here we go. Alan Ritchson talking about if he would ever play a DCU Batman. He said, "You wouldn't even have to pay me." And yeah, I am definitely on that team now. I wasn't kind of before, but I am now. Captain America co-creator Jack Kirby is getting his own documentary called Kirby Vision, currently in the making, doing a lot of interviews for it. Cannot wait for that. We got new Empire magazine covers for Thunderbolts coming out in 2 months. Look really cool. Got some new pictures from Thunderbolts. Yeah, we got Yelena versus Yelena in the Void. Very excited about that. They released a new A24 type trailer. I think it was produced by somebody from A24 as well. Talking about the stars from A24, the writers of A24, cinematography. So they had a whole bunch of listings on there. I think what's her name? What's her name? Who's starring in it said it was more like an A24 Marvel movie. So Vin Diesel hints at a group spin-off movie based on his Guardians of the Galaxy characters in development. He's been saying that for a while, going to be all about Planet X. He's very high on that. I'm not sure about that or not, but and we got a huge leak last week, huge Marvel leak, came out Saturday morning, and I'm going to talk about a few of them. We got the Fantastic Four there on the left. These are all concept art done by a concept artist, put it on her webpage, and for some reason I don't know why she did that, but they all leaked. She shut it down within a couple hours, but we did get some great clips, including the first glimpse of Franklin Richards, the son of Sue and Reed. We got the first glimpse of her using her powers, her force field powers, protecting Franklin. A lot of these clips, as you see there. But the big thing is we got the first look at Shia LaBeouf, Silver Surfer, which I'm sure they did not want this released because she hasn't been released in the trailers or anything else yet. But I'm not sure how final this is or how final any of these clips are. But we also got to look at an evil female version of Ultron, saying it's Ultron's wife. I can't remember her name, but she's going to be part of the Vision series. Also got a glimpse of what they're saying is Sacha Baron Cohen as Mephisto, maybe in different outfits for what is that show? Ironheart.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
rumored to be a part of it. Also a brand new project, new concept art, probably for a canceled show called Iron Man 3000. It was going to star Iron Man's daughter from the Endgame movie. It's just I'm not sure if it's going to be animated or if it was going to be a live action show or not. But yeah, there's some pictures of her in a car and a whole bunch of other stuff. Another clip of the Vision series. Supposedly Star-Lord was supposed to be a part of it or something. We're not really sure, but we got that. But the big thing was, the big news that everybody's talking about was Doctor Doom. And we got the very first concept art of Doctor Doom.
Emperor Doom
sitting on his throne. We got another first glimpse of Black Panther, who looks a lot like T'Challa. A recast version of him. I'm not sure.
I hope it's a multiverse thing, and he ends up in the regular MCU, so they can get away with doing that. They weren't far
I hope
enough
so
from
too.
Multiverse to do that for Black Panther 2, but I think for this I think that would be the best thing. I don't think it should be like his son all grown up or anything like that. I think it should be just a variant, played by the guy that played Hawkman in Black Adam, because I love Aldous.
That'd be cool.
I love that guy
him too.
He's so good.
We got a glimpse of somebody hanging and being tortured, being brought in front of the throne of Doom on the far right there. We're not sure. A lot of people are saying that could be Reed Richards. We're not sure that's Pedro or not. It looks like, and they say. Also, we see Doctor Strange there standing next to Doctor Doom, kind of as his flunky, kind of as part of his guard. I think next to him is either Sue Storm or somebody, I don't know. But also see Hulk, She-Hulk, and Hulk's son, all in this Hulk, almost looks like Shrek world. A whole bunch of Hulk beings living in this village. Not sure what that is either. And we got a quick glimpse of all the young Avengers, led by Wong. We see Peter Quill there as well. And we see Speed with Wiccan, who debuted in Agatha All Along, but we do see Speed there as well. So we know where this is going. We've known it for a while. This is what this was setting up for Avengers. But the Russos also revealed the estimated runtime for the next Avengers movie. are 2.5 hours for Doomsday and Secret Wars 3 hours. So just going on the pattern of what they had for Secret Wars for Infinity War and Endgame. Joe Russo says that Robert Downey Jr. is dialed in to play Doctor Doom in Secret Wars. He's writing the backstory, costume ideas. He just loves being in the three-dimensional characters. He has a lot of opportunity here with the characters. So, and he just showed up at South by Southwest, which we're going to talk about right now. Got some concept art of what they're going to be doing for Mando and Grogu in the Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run ride at Galaxy's Edge at the Disney parks. They're going to be going in space. They're going to be in Bespin. They're going to be on Tatooine, and they're going to redo the whole entire ride, which I would love to go on that ride. They're also going to have these BDX droids. I believe this is from the video game, correct? Mm-hmm. From the one with what's his name?
Cal Kestis.
Who played? Yeah. They're going to have these droids walking around in Disney World.
Nice.
Robert Downey, he was at South by Southwest. He talked about being a part of the parks and giving his input to Avengers Campus. And he's talking about what Iron Man means to him, saying, 17 years I've been associated with this iconic superhero. It's a message he represents that I'm grateful for. Tony Stark opened my eyes wider to the power technology has to impact the world for good. And that's something I'll carry for the rest of my life. He's still very high on the character, even though he's been kind of typecast to it a little bit. And when Pedro Pascal was there, he talked about that he has been in contact with Robert Downey Jr. He just said he texted him that day. He sent him a selfie. So, but they also released some new pictures from Fantastic Four, which we'll get into in a minute. First Steps was inspired by Disneyland's Tomorrowland and Epcot Center. I definitely got that vibe from the trailer for what we've seen so far.
Yep.
And Fantastic Four at Disneyland's Tomorrowland in July when the movie comes out, Herbie, the robot from the movie, will be animatronic and going around the park, they said, in Tomorrowland. That's kind of exciting too. But we did get some real exclusive, official concept art from Fantastic Four. I think they released this because of the leak last week. But we got a picture of their house, their living room, with the vaulted ceiling, with the layered I don't remember what they call it, but living room. We got a glimpse of the outside, the exterior, and the Fantastic Four sitting in their living room. We get the streets, which looks like we see a monorail. We see a lot of robots. We see different cars, different technology. Looks a lot Jetsons-like. A lot of cool stuff. Definitely 60s inspired. We get the skyline of New York City, which just looks incredible with everything around it. The art of this looks amazing.
It looks like what they thought in the 60s, what they thought today would look like is what this looks like.
It's basically what Walt Disney it's what Walt Disney thought Epcot and Tomorrowland was going to be eventually. He thought that was going to be a place where people could actually live. That's why he built it the way he did. A utopia, yeah. And he was going to bring it to bigger cities, but they ended up just staying there. But and finally in news, we got a full trailer for The Last of Us. This came out South by Southwest last night. This was incredible. We got confirmation that spores are going to be a part of it. We got the picture of Ellie with the spores there, with a zombie. And we also got some emotional moments in the trailer. It looked awesome. It looks great. I cannot wait. This comes out next month. Very excited for that. And that's it for news. That's it for our show this week. Thank you, everybody. Next week, there's a new show called Deli Boys. I don't know if you heard about this. Some sort of a mob show on Disney Plus Hulu. A lot of people are talking about it. A lot of people are saying it's really good. It's kind of on my radar. I did want to mention that. We're going to talk about Daredevil Born Again Episode 3. We're going to continue our Reacher watch. We'll talk about Season 3 so far. A new documentary came out on Netflix, I think tomorrow, called American Manhunt, Osama Bin Laden. I may watch that. We'll see. The Electric State. This is the Russo's movie starring Millie Bobby Brown and Chris Pratt. It comes out on Friday on Netflix, getting horrible reviews. Not sure if I'm going to watch that. Also coming out on Friday, Novocaine. And for the year of Superman next week, I'm going to give you a list of Superman episodes. Probably the best on IMDb of Adventures of Superman with George Reeves.
Okay.
And we're going to probably watch like 3 or 4 episodes. So they're pretty quick. But the big thing next week, we're going to talk about the Hollywood land. We're going to talk about George Reeves, the mystery of him dying and how he died. That'll be a big part of next week's episode. And cannot wait for that. And then you're on vacation. We're going to take off the week. Maybe we may take a week off. We're not sure. We're going to figure it out.
We'll be doing at least 2 episodes in the 3 weeks I'm gone, probably.
Yeah.
I'm guessing.
Yep. So that's it for our show, everybody. Thank you. And we will talk to you next week. Peace.
Peace.
We're the Geek Blurb crew, here to enlighten you. Talking all things geeky, from movies to wrestling to our podcast is the place where you wanna be for all the latest news and nostalgia from the 80s and 90s. We review comic book flicks and sci-fi hits, riding the wave of action movies with all the cool bits. From Iron Man to Star Wars, we cover it all. And when it comes to wrestling, we never drop the ball. Geek Blurb, we're the kings of the nerds, rating movies and pineapples, our opinions never blur. Join us each week for a geeky chat with the latest scoop and a dose of nostalgia that. So if you're a fan of the comic book craze, or a lover of sci-fi and all its maze, tune in to Geek